Well. Give me my signs. Seriously? Make me go all the way up here for them. Oh, did they go down? Is that what they did? Or did they just delete? Really? Oh, there they are. It's like, where'd they go? Yeah. Okay, I need stone bricks. Okay. Now I need to harvest this section here. Yeah, you got a brief glimpse of just how close this is to my base there. It's very close. Very, very close. Okay. I suppose the primary problem that I am facing with my YouTube channel is that I'm suffering from the same issue that most movie stars kind of encounter, and that is I don't want to be known for only one thing. You know, Mark Hamill, for example, very, very skilled actor, very influential, very popular, very well respected. He's known for one task, and one task only, and that is Luke Skywalker. He's known for Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker. Everyone knows him. You know, if you don't know who Mark Hamill is, you probably don't know what Star Wars is. It's just a basic fact. If you've never heard of Mark Hamill, well, then you probably never heard of Star Wars. If you have heard of Star Wars and you still don't know who Mark Hamill is, you probably know who Luke Skywalker is. And that's kind of the problem that most actors face, you know. Try and find out, you know, who played Wolverine, you know. And once again, you'll find that there's really only one answer. There's only one Logan, you know. Yes, there's been multiple actors who have tried to portray him, but similar to Batman, you know, you're not really going to compete with certain levels of acting, and those actors are constantly going to get referenced as those characters, you know. I'm sure the person who played Jar Jar Binks is very happy that nobody recognizes him unless he does the voice, because the character was done using computer-generated imagery, or CGI. Same for Gollum, you know. The guy did wonderful work, and yes, he wants to get recognized for the wonderful work that he did portraying Gollum. However, he doesn't really want to suffer from the same problems that the actors who portrayed Frodo and Sam are constantly experiencing, where everyone just goes, "Hey, it's Frodo and Sam," and it's like, yeah, we also have like real names, so could you maybe use our actual names? And everyone goes, "What is your actual name?" It's like, come on, you know this. You know? So there's this issue where the actors kind of only get noticed for what they're well known for. You know, what character did they portray that really put them on the map? Wolverine, obviously, doesn't really have that issue, as the actor was already well established in many other roles. But it still does get the point across that there is an issue where that's a problem. And there needs to be some solution to that problem. Otherwise, it's just going to keep happening. It's going to continue being a problem, you know, until it gets resolved. And the way that such a problem would get resolved is through the use of applying these various skill sets to the to the task at hand. In this case, the task at hand is gaming, but acting could be just as easily the task at hand. It could be acting. It could be any number of things. Any number of things. But the problem persists nonetheless. There is still a consistent issue where the actors are getting known for their portrayal of a character more than their skill as an actor for portraying that character, for behaving as that character, for acting on behalf of that character. They stuck to the plot, they might have improvised a bit, but in the end, they were what made the character really come to life for a lot of people, Basically, the actors just don't want to be known for only the one thing. They want to be known as this multi-talented, multi-skilled person. They want to be known as a person of many talents. They have multiple talents that they wish to be known for, and they don't feel that they are receiving that recognition that they deserve. And in some cases, that's entirely understandable, because they might not be, you know, they might not be getting the recognition they deserve. But in other instances, they might be getting the recognition they deserve. They might be getting all the recognition that they deserve. You know? But because of their inability to portray that talent amongst other mediums, as it's called, amongst other skills, amongst other areas of theater, the actors will find themselves struggling, either physically, monetarily, or just through the through the medium of acting. They will find themselves struggling. And as the actors continue to struggle and try to portray their characters and their various jobs properly, they will find that some characters will have an easier time getting represented, whilst other characters will have a much, much more difficult time getting proper representation. These characters can range in skill and kindness and emotional response and all this other stuff that actors practice and work on, and they try and perfect as an actor, as a theater performer, as they say. You know, these various characters can have very drastic outlooks on life that vary based on what type of character they're supposed to be. You know, some people are asked to portray bad people, some people are asked to portray good people, some people are just asked to be a person. You know, maybe they're not supposed to be an important person, maybe they're not supposed to be relevant or pertinent, but they're asked to be someone. And as these people get, more and more influential in their role, they will find that their role gets a little bit more varied. They'll find that their ability to portray their character gets complicated and complex, and in some cases simplified, in other cases not. Okay, that's not where I'm clicking at all. Thank you. Like that. Now go over here to collect this, because this shouldn't be here. Okay. Oops. So yeah, I'm just worried that my character, or my my channel might get known for Minecraft and then not get recognized for any of its other skills that I quite clearly have. I quite clearly am, quite skilled in certain other tasks. It's just a matter of, showing that I have this ability. Like, yeah, I have the ability, but can I reliably show that I have this ability? Well, yes, I can. I can very easily show that I have all of this ability because, if it's a first-person shooter, yeah, I'm on mouse and keyboard, so I'm probably not going to be the best teammate on Apex Legends, but that's because I'm on mouse and keyboard. Mouse and keyboard is notoriously bad for those types of games where you're trying to basically, be better than your opponent. If your opponent has access to a mouse and keyboard or a controller, and they pick controller, they're probably going to do better than you. That's kind of a given. That's because the controller is more responsive, it's more adaptive for that type of play style, that type of method. That specific type of player versus player where you have to shoot at each other, that is specifically going to be more useful with a with a controller than it is going to be with a mouse and keyboard. And there's not really anything I can do about that, because that's just a fundamental basic of how the human body is built, and a fundamental basic of how the controller was designed. It was specifically built with the idea in mind that it would be easier to use a controller. A keyboard is meant for, work type interactions where you have a software company that is trying to build programming code. Okay, well, use a keyboard and mouse to build the code, but use a controller to play the game. So you can see the difficulties I was facing if you go and check out my live stream of the video on demand of my live stream where I was playing Apex Legends. You will notice that my skills were not exactly comparable to my opponents. The reason for this being that I had to deal with the fact that I was on a mouse and keyboard, and they, quite simply, were not. They were not on a mouse and keyboard. They were instead on a controller where they could very easily, turn around, they could very easily aim, they could easily respond, react, and basically handle the situation just a lot better in general than I could. And this showed because the other players who did have a mouse and keyboard, were doing roughly the same level of progress as me. However, the ones that were on a controller were quite obviously better than me. Like, very, very obviously better. Okay, why is this not working? This is not functioning as intended. Why? Why is this not functioning as intended? Do I need to go back here again? Probably do. There we go. Get all of that sorted out. Okay. One example of an actor being known better for their portrayal of their character than they are for their acting abilities is the actor who played Captain Jack Sparrow. They found themselves being better recognized as Captain Jack Sparrow than they were doing anything else, really. Johnny Depp. They played Edward Scissorhands. They played a wide variety of different characters. They played Charlie from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the kid who inherited the chocolate factory. But nobody really recognizes them as Charlie from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Instead, everyone recognizes them as Captain Jack Sparrow. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, I played Captain Jack Sparrow. That was one of the roles which I reprised, yes. And everyone's like, oh my god, you made an amazing Captain Jack Sparrow. You were great. And he's like, yeah, that's great, but I had other roles, I did other acting gigs. And everyone's like, yeah, but you were Captain Jack Sparrow. And he's like, we've been over this. He struggles to have people recognize him for his talents as an actor, as an actual actor. Instead, he's recognized more for his talents as, one character. I don't want to be a one-trick pony, as they say. If I wanted to only be known for one thing, that's fine. I wouldn't mind. But I don't want to only be known for one thing. I want to be known for a lot of things. Okay? And that's kind of the problem. Is that I want, I want the recognition that comes with being a multi-skilled person, person of many talents. It is not easy being recognized as a man of many talents, as they say. Will Smith, for example, took Will Smith a very long time to get recognized as a man of many talents. But now that he is recognized as a man of many talents, he is very well recognized for it. I would like to have the recognition that goes with being able to, play an MMO for however long it takes to get good at an MMO. There are going to be people who are going to tell me, oh, well, you're not skilled enough yet. And it's like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if I'm skilled enough. I just want to be skilled. I want to have that ability of being as good as I am at the things that I play. I want to have the ability to be recognized for that ability. I don't just want it to be this latent ability that I have. I want it to be an actively recognized ability that people are able to go, oh yeah, man, he's real good. And some people are not going to be appreciative of that. I don't care. It's not that I don't mind. It's that I don't care. I don't care that they're not appreciative of it. I just want to be able to have that ability. I don't care if it's appreciated that I have that ability. That's an entirely different topic. I just want to have the ability, first and foremost. Because if you don't have the skill in the first place, then you can't really get recognized for having the skill. Because, well, you didn't have it in the first place. Problem solved, so to speak. What seems to be the problem? Well, you're lacking skill. No, problem solved. Get good. It's not some complicated algorithm. Some people worry that we're not able to understand what's going on with all of these algorithms and these various things that are getting integrated into our lives. And it's like, well, have you ever stopped to consider that maybe, just maybe, the reason why all of this stuff is so confusing is because you don't take the time out of your day to actually investigate how it works? Maybe that's why it's so confusing for you? They never really seem to make the connection. It's amazing. But that's how it actually is. People never seem to make the connection, but that's the way it is. It's that simple. It's not some complicated algorithm. Okay? A lot of the times, these complicated algorithms that people are complaining about, they're not complicated. They're not even difficult. They're easy. They're a piece of cake. Okay? People think that computers are ruining the future, and it's like, you have no idea how the air conditioning system works at your local McDonald's, do you? Because take a wild guess what that thing's programming language is. Okay, they built it in Linux. So, it's really not that difficult. Like, Unix and Linux is a machine learning program language, meaning machines speak that language. And it's not even a difficult language, it's just long. Like, a lot of it is just long-winded, lots of, telling it, okay, if this, do this, if that, do this, if that, do this. And because of that, it's really not that difficult. It's really not. Let's see. What else do we got here? We've got... Okay, so I kind of want to redo this layout because I kind of want to have half slabs along here pushing water out this way, but at the same time I don't want to redo the layout because then I would need to make sure that this doesn't have a half slab here because I wouldn't want this to fill up with water sources, so it would just end up being this massive, difficult span of territory, and I don't really want to have to redo the entire build. Like, I've already got it all in place, I just need to finish it. But yeah, I don't want my channel to be only recognized for Minecraft. I want my channel to be recognized for, skill and quality and various other aspects of prowess that don't normally come into play when trying to figure out whether or not a person is skilled at a game. I don't want it to just be skill. I want it to be more than just skill. Skill is not the only factor by which I should be getting measured here. I mean, skill is obviously a relevant factor, but skill should not be the only factor. Okay, this is the spiders, so... is this. And this. Okay. Then I want to go check down here in order to retrieve the extra stuff that I have left down here, because items. Okay. Really? Just this random dull spot, huh? Huh. Weird. Okay, well. Whatever. I'm quite the intellectual. I just don't show off that I'm an intellectual very well. However, if you pay close attention, you will notice all the usual traits of intellectuals, including the fact that I tend to not get along with people very well. The traits of intellectuals are difficult. Let's just put it that way. It's not easy being an intellectual. Okay, some people think that it's just spouting off stuff that sounds smart. Some people would disagree and tell you that it actually needs to be smart. I'm one of those people who would tell you it needs to actually be smart, because if it's not smart, then it's not actually an intellectual statement. You know, it's got to be smart. And if you're not trying to be smart, then you're probably not doing it right. Because you really want to be smart. Like, that's just life. You want to be smart. You know, no matter what you're doing in life, you just kind of always want to be smart. You want to be known for being that smart person in the room, because then you're known for being reliable for that ability. You're known for being reliable, for being intelligent, for being reliable, for being smart enough to know the difference between, you know, a microgram and a milligram. Being smart enough to know the difference between, you know, flammable and inflammable. Which is a very important difference to recognize. And if you're wondering what is the difference between being flammable and inflammable, one is a lot more explosive than the other. However, both of them can catch on fire. If you're wondering which one can get you in more danger, that would be the inflammable. Because, yeah, it's, it can get explosive. It's quite dangerous getting those two mixed up. Create another stack of stone brick. Oops. Okay, and then we want that to go there. And we can put that there. Another comparable star to their deeds would be Robert Downey Jr., actually. You might not recognize him from his role as Sherlock Holmes, but you probably recognize him from his work that he did as Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. wanted to do the role of Sherlock Holmes because he found it to be quite the fascinating character. He thought he could do a very well-versed reprisal of the role, allowing for a very, no pun intended, stark outcome. The irony is not lost on me of the innate pun that is present in that statement. But he wanted to do a decent reprisal of the role because he wanted to show off that he was in fact a man of many talents. Robert Downey Jr. being just absolutely adored by fans for his work as Iron Man. He is well aware that he is well loved for his work as Iron Man. However, he is additionally aware that it's kind of what he's well known for. Similar to the actor who played Loki, primarily being recognized for his work as Loki. There is pros and cons to being famous for only one thing. One benefit is that he doesn't really need to worry about if someone will ever recognize him for his work, because of course they recognize him. Are you kidding me? They know who he is. He's the guy who played fill-in superhero name here. Of course they recognize him, But the problem is that's kind of a generic issue. It's a generic response. Very, very generic response. And as a result, he kind of has a bit of a generic following. There's only so much that he can do about, what he's known for. And one of those things that he can do is control how well he's known for the roles that he's played. And the way that he does that is by simply just limiting what roles he plays. He could easily do plenty more movies with Loki and Thor and the whole crew, and they could, have great fun together, but for the most part, he just wants to enjoy spending time with the other cast members, spending time with the crew of the show, of the movie, and just enjoy being a regular dude with them. He wants to be normal. He doesn't want to constantly have to worry about, what do his fans think about his reprisal as Iron Man. Instead, he wants to be known as a person who has varied talents, that is well known for more than just Iron Man, but for lots of things. He wants to be on par with, with the legends such as, what's his name? I know his name. I'm going to call him Mr. Lee because that's all I can remember off the top of my head is his last name. But, he wants to be as well recognized as Mr. Lee, the man who made Marvel what it is, the man who made DC what it is, Stan Lee. That's who. He wants to be as well known as Stan Lee. And Stan Lee is really a golden standard as far as acting skill goes, because Stan Lee has starred in pretty much every superhero movie that he has directed. Not primary star. He was a co-star, but Stan Lee has been in the movie every time, and this is a difficult task to achieve, much less for someone of Stan Lee's age, but just in general, it's a difficult thing to achieve. It's not easy doing that. And Robert Downey Jr. took on the role of Sherlock Holmes in order to portray that he was able to go about actually fulfilling the portrayal, the actor portrayal of the one, the only Sherlock Holmes. Because who else is going to be apt and able to accurately portray Sherlock Holmes, if not Robert Downey Jr.? That was kind of the challenge that he gave himself, that he faced as himself, is he wanted to have his name be synonymous with many aspects of life, not just one or two. He wanted to be Star Wars famous, basically, as they call it, where he's just so famous that he's known for just being there all the time. Like Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is known for just constantly being in character as Captain Jack Sparrow. And he really enjoys the role. He loves playing that character. But at the end of the day, he wants to be known as Johnny Depp because that's who he is. Actually. He's not just Captain Jack Sparrow of the Black Pearl. He's Johnny Depp, skilled actor, and just a generally skilled person. It's difficult to put into words because for the most part, unless you've experienced it already, you don't really know what type of struggle they're going through with just trying to set themselves apart from the identity which they portrayed. And because of that, it gets quite difficult to differentiate the sense of self from the sense of accomplishment. You find yourself struggling to do as good as, if not better than before. Because you want to be better than before. You want to be as good as, as good as normal is for you. I think what I can do probably clear out a lot of these signs by virtue of well, first of all, I gotta replace this pumpkin that I accidentally just broke. For that, I kinda gotta go... kinda gotta go over here. Fill it in this way. Now, I need to do this. That's not quite right. I need that, and that, yeah. So yeah, that's basically why I'm trying to diversify my portfolio of games available on my channel, is because I don't want to be just known for one thing. Because being known for one thing is, quite honestly, very boring. You know, I could make do with only being known for one thing, but as I just said, it would be quite boring. It wouldn't be very interesting, it wouldn't be very entertaining, I wouldn't enjoy it. You probably wouldn't enjoy it as, the viewing audience. And as a result, it would kind of not be the type of content that this channel would thrive in the creation of. Because between the the various tasks at hand, there is additionally a lot of other work that goes into the creation of the channel content. Work which normally does not get mentioned, at least by most channels. Some channels talk about it. I believe I've mentioned it before, just offhand. But simply put, I need to make sure that I am entertained by the content that I am creating for the channel, in addition to making sure that you, the user, are additionally entertained by all of this content from the channel. Because I'm doing this in my spare time, first and foremost. Therefore, if I'm not feeling entertained, then similar to if the GM of a Dungeons & Dragons campaign is not feeling very entertained by the campaign, the campaign would simply just stop. It would cease to run. Because the GM just is not having fun. And if the GM's not having fun, then the players aren't going to have fun. That's just how D&D works. That's how it operates. You know, if the players aren't having fun, the GM's not having fun. If the GM's not having fun, the players aren't having fun. If the players are having fun and the GM's not having fun, it's going to show. And it's going to show very, very obviously. I wonder, can I just gather these real quick? And then can I just block off this top area? Okay, and then more signs. Sign, everywhere a sign. If I block off this top area, that's not where I meant to put that sign. Retrieve that sign because that's not where it's supposed to go. Now if I end up over here, what happens? I end up funneled into here, which has all of these other signs as a sort of safeguard. But what if I didn't need them? What if I pushed this wall back by one And then just pushed this wall back by one.